Greetings YouTube, Sega Zombie here, and welcome to another episode, another ZX Spectrum video if you will. And this one is going to be a real nostalgic hit. This really is going to have some really significant games in my gaming life so far. We're going way back, guys, way back to my earliest memories of the good old Specky. So guys, go grab yourself a nice cup of tea, maybe the odd cheeky biscuit, and let's reminisce, guys. Let's reminisce. First up, we're going to play the very first game I ever saw on the ZX Spectrum, and that is Jumping Jack. Now, this game, I think, is definitely the first ever game I see at home, apart from, if you remember those little LED sort of tabletop games like Caveman and Frogger. I had Kingman. That was my first ever real game at home. And I can also remember my parents having one of those really basic Pong machines that you hooked up to your TV. Up until then, I'd never witnessed or played any games like this at home before. And you know, let's let this load a little bit, because like I mentioned in the first video, Spectrum video, is I find it really relaxing and it chills me right out just watching these games load. Loads of people said to me, and when I had my last Spectrum collection, I didn't really collect the games as such, only the nostalgic ones. And I had the SD reader, which is a fantastic device. But I just found that I never used it. And I weren't playing it. And to me, it's about loading in these games. Now, Jumping Jack, as we can see there, brilliant little load and screen. Really basic game, as you're going to see, guys. But the memories. I can remember I'm pretty certain I was definitely in primary school, but I can't remember if I was in infants or junior. But I can remember being picked up by my mum, and I'd had a bad day. I can remember being upset. I can't remember if I'd hurt myself or I was just feeling sorry for myself in general. And I can remember my mum saying, I know that when we get home, it's going to cheer you up. Dad has bought something that you're going to love. And I had no idea what it was going to be. And I can remember walking into the living room. I'm going to put a picture up, guys. It's one of the only pictures I can find. My mum and dad have so many photographs. But yeah, one of the earliest memories of this game. And there's a photograph that I'm going to put up. It's not of me playing this game, but it is where the Spectrum sat and when I first witnessed it. So here we go, guys. Here's Jumping Jack. I don't think this one is a joystick controlled game. But there's the little inlay. In today's standards, this game is extremely crude. And yeah, it's going to be simple. How to move Jack. Right. It's not very often I use keyboards. That's the console gamer in me, guys. I prefer a joystick or a pad. Patiently waiting for the gaps. The aim of the game is just to jump between the gaps. Like so. Whoa! And then fall back down again. You only lose a life in this game, if I remember, if you fall straight to the bottom and don't even clear the jumps. Like I said, guys, this is going to be short and sweet, but the memories, I can just remember walking into our living room diner and seeing this game for the first time. I was absolutely blown away. Here we go. You can run off the edge of the screen like so. Ah, let's not fall back down. And obviously it gets progressively harder But I can remember my mum, my dad and my uncle being absolutely transfixed by this game. I couldn't do it. I can remember I really couldn't play this game at all. I was useless at it. But I persevered with this game. I wanted to be good and I wanted to play computer games. This was my first initial interest in a computer game. And as you can see, I'm absolutely awful at it, guys. It's the keys. It's definitely the keys. Oh, come on. I'm just as bad as when I was about 6 years old by the looks of it. Whoa. I'm determined, guys. We're going to get up there. We just got to get to the top of the screen to complete the level. Believe it or not, this is the level that... Oh, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Oh, this is depressing me. Come on. Concentrate. Right, we know we can't do them ones. I don't know why they do that. Oh, yes. Come on. Oh, just to hearing those sounds. I can remember the competitiveness between my dad, my uncle and my mum on this game. If our memory serves me correctly, my mum was the best at this game. And I dreaded it when I got home and if my uncle was there because he would really hog this. He would hog the Spectrum. I wouldn't get a look in. I'd just have to sit there and watch him. Oh yes, he's on a roll now. He's on a roll. Oh no! Let's not fall down, guys. So close now. Yes, and we did it. Next level, 1 hazard. Jumping Jack is quick and bold. With skill, his story will unfold. Haha. As you'll see now, there's enemies on the screen. There's obstacles in the way, which we've got to avoid. We'll wait for a gap. Here we go. Oh, no! I got ran over by the tram or whatever it is. I'm not going to catch up with that. But this really does make me feel warm, guys. The nostalgia, the memories just come flooding back with this game. And I'm going to die. Shame I couldn't get a bit further, guys, but we're not going to keep sticking with this. We've got 3 more games to get through. So we've just seen Jumping Jack, which was the first game I ever saw on the ZX Spectrum. And I can remember being very impressed. But the game that mesmerised me and absolutely blew my little mind was this game. And that's 3D Death Chase on the Micro Mega label. Absolutely fantastic game, this, guys. I absolutely adored this game and it stayed with me, whereas Jumping Jack impressed me, and it was a game that is very fondly remembered by me. It wasn't a game that, obviously, because of the basicness of it, a game that I went back to over time. But Death Chase is a game that I still played throughout all of my life with the ZX Spectrum growing up. I always went back to this game and always had a cheeky little play on it. This game, you're going to see what I mean. I just can't wait to hear the sounds and get into a bit of the gameplay, guys. It's really going to be special, this one. We'll wait for the loading screen, because I remember it being an iconic loading screen in my mind. We're going to look at that. And I can remember my dad saying, you're going to really like this game. Because I loved motorbikes and cars growing up. Look at that. I can just remember thinking, wow. Oh, 1983. Brilliant. So I would have been 7. I was 7 when this game came out. I knew I was around 6 or 7 when I first witnessed the ZX Spectrum. And I've been gripped ever since. Another thing I've realised, and something I've really got to get for my Specky collection, is a bloody Kempston interface. Because again, these early games don't support the Sinclair. Oh, that's give me goosebumps, guys. Just hearing that is just amazing. So there we got keyboard, Kempston joystick. So I really need to get a Kempston interface. Just let that focus in. So controls when loaded, press 1 for keyboard, blah, blah, blah. 1 is steer left, 0 is steer right, 8 is decelerate, 9 is accelerate. Bottom row to fire. Again, this is going to be a little bit... My skills in keyboard gaming is atrocious. It always has been. My brain just can't remember the keys. So 1 left, 0 right, accelerate, decelerate, and fire. Yes. Getting the helicopter in the background gives you bonus points. But visually this game is a massive step up. A massive step up from Jumping Jack, so you can see why I was mesmerised by this game. I'd never seen anything like it. And each level just cycles through day and night. And again, this is another game that my uncle would hog. I would very rarely get a look in. Oh, I remember being very frustrated hitting them trees loads. Yeah, my uncle would hog this one as well. I'd have to sit there what seemed like a lifetime. Oh, I got the tank in the background there. The trees get more and more dense as we go on. Still really playable. I just need to get that Kempston interface. I can remember my dad was never so keen to load this one in, which is a shame. We'll have one more go. I can remember I was always having to nag to play this game, but if my uncle was there, he would definitely load this one up. Again, I'm really battling with this keyboard. I can remember having mates round on 2-player games. I would insist that they were keyboard because I just couldn't control it. I had a friend actually, my mate Zach, growing up. He was a master on a keyboard. He preferred the keyboard than he did over joystick. That was probably because I always made him use the keyboard. And I'm sure you guys will agree with me, going back to 1983, these visuals would have been amazing for the time. It's not just that, the sound of the engine just brings it all flooding back. Oh, I nearly got the tank. I should have seen that tree, really. I'm not going to keep blaming this keyboard, guys. A bad worksman blames his tools, as they say. And that's game over on Death Chase. Wow. What a game. Interesting to find out what other games were developed by this guy. I really would. Something I'm going to look into, I think. But that really was, for the time, an amazing game. So there we have Death Chase, guys. Next up, guys, we have the amazing Attic Attack. Do-do-do-do-do. Wow. Again, hair-raising moment that hearing that sound. Yeah, Attic Attack by the amazing Ultimate Play the Game, which later became Rare. Absolutely fantastic studio that worked magic on the Spectrum. They don't need any introduction. All you guys that have memories or collect for Spectrum will know all about Ultimate Play the Game. The reason why I'm including this game into this little selection here is this is the first game I ever finished. I played this game so much. Again, my mum and my uncle absolutely adored this game. And I can remember my uncle, as you'll see when the game loads in, he would go around and he'd collect every single item and take it to the main room. It was just his little thing. But with me, just the whole idea of picking up different coloured keys, opening doors with the right coloured key, and certain monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein and the Mummy, you could pick up certain items which would stop them from injuring you. It's just such an iconic game, this. So many great things. Again, the sound effects are going to be amazing. And also graphically, I think Attic Attack looked great for the time. And it was the first game I ever played which was like that adventure style game. I can remember drawing that. Absolutely amazed by that artwork. And I can remember at school doodling that on my exercise books and on bits of paper. This wasn't a game we had straight away from the Spectrum. I can remember this being purchased by my mum at a later date. So we had been playing the likes of Death Chase, Jumping Jack, the Horus games. I can remember there was a racing car game as well. Sort of like the packing games, Survival and the like. There was a chess game as well. I remember waiting a little time for the likes of Attic Attack and Jetpack to turn up. Jetpack would be included into this. I might do a future video because there's so many games I can talk about like this. But Jetpack will definitely feature. But I don't own that at the moment. So I'm only going to play games that I own and that we load in this old way. And we're away. So Attic Attack, guys, I can remember all the different characters, the knight, the wizard and the serf. This would allow you to take different secret passageways depending on the character that you are. I can't remember. I think I used to like being the knight. Let's go with the knight. I'm feeling the knight, I think. So we need to go for cursor joystick, is it? I'm hoping. We're going to go for the knight. 0, start the game. Today, in this video, we're using the cruiser. The last video was the bug stick. We're going to go for cruiser this time. An absolutely fantastic joystick, one of my favourites. Yeah, and cursor doesn't work, guys. I need a Kempston. Right, so let's go keyboard, guys. Take 2. The cruiser will have to wait for another game. This is why we love retro. Right, so 0 to start. So left, right. T to fire. So food obviously replenishes your health, which is displayed there with the chicken carcass. We've got to find some keys. What's down? That's down. Let's go back up these stairs. I can't remember what the knight actually goes through. Is it the bookcase? I thought that was the wizard. Those trapdoors you can fall down. But the aim of the game is to find the coloured keys, to which then you need to hunt and find the master key, which is in 3 parts, I do believe, to complete the game and escape this castle. Oh, died just before I got to that lovely looking whatever it is. Bowl of something. And the game is completely random. The objects are in different locations, if I remember rightly. So no 2 ways of playing this game are the same. I'm going to fall down to a lower level. The more you fall down, you'll become into the sort of like dungeon. Lower parts, there's a demon there we've got to avoid. Oh, the memories, just hearing those sound effects, firing off your weapon. I can remember, I'm sure it was my mum that finished this game for the first time, and I can remember just being determined. And being sort of 7, 8 years old, this was a really challenging game. It still is at over 40 years old with a keyboard, that's for sure. Aha, and we find a key. That stops Dracula, I do believe, when we meet him. So we can now go through the green doors. I love when you die and it just leaves your gravestone there and it stays there as well. It's a really iconic thing I remember. It is the clocks we can go through. So there's the mummy. So now we can go through the red door. Oh, but I got confused with the keys there, guys. Come on, we need food. Ah, and he died. There we go, guys. There's Attic Attack, and I'm glad I've shared this one with you. The nostalgia is amazing. And the first thing I'm doing after I finish doing this video is I'm going to get myself a Kempston interface. I'm hoping I can get one to fit this Spectrum Plus 2 here, because I've got to play through this game. I'm not going to be happy until I play through this and finish this game. That leads us on nicely, guys, to River Rescue, Search, Shoot, Escape. This is on the Fawn EMI label. Now, a great person on, a great member of Sinclair for Sale really helped me out on this one. I've been searching for this game, but I couldn't remember its name. And I see the cover and it seemed familiar on a sales post, and it was Claire Jeffrey that said River Rescue. I described the game I was looking for. She said, I believe it was the one. She even Googled it and found it on YouTube, linked me, sent me a link to a YouTube video, and it was the game straight away. This game I remember really well. Again, it was one that my mum really adored. And I can remember someone she worked with also had a Spectrum. And I remember my mum coming home from work quite often actually with a carrier bag full of games, and in there you would have some copy tapes but also original games, and me and my mum would sit there loading up these games. And I can remember there was a batch of games that we weren't really interested in, but this was one of them, River Rescue, which we thought this game was worth a try. I remember loading it in and my mum being absolutely hooked on this game. She absolutely loved it. It's a really simple basis of a game. You basically control a speedboat. I wouldn't say it's a massive ship like that. Down a river. It's a horizontal shooter kind of game where you have to stop at the jetties and pick up and rescue people and then drop them off on the opposite side. So at the top of the screen, you pick up people. At the bottom of the screen, you drop them off. You get more points for the more people you pick up and then drop off at one time. Again, as saying there, 1983. I know we got this one further down the line of owning the Sinclair Spectrum. And I can remember my mum and her best friend at the time, which I've mentioned, one of my friends growing up, Gary. Because of mine and his friendship, my mum became very good friends with his mum. And these two were very competitive at this game. They played it loads. So let's get into it. I'm hoping this time, fingers crossed guys, we can actually test out the cruiser. It's been a bit of a disaster, this video, in displaying my keyboard skills. I really want the cruiser to work. I might have to have a little look at the menu here. Getting started. Before switching on the Spectrum, oh, we know all that. How to play. When the program is loaded, the title game of the screen appears. Press the S key to select either one player or two player. Press J to play with a Kempston joystick. Press an H to play with a Sinclair joystick. That's what we want to hear. So H is Sinclair joystick. Always pays you to read the instructions. G to start game. So that all makes perfect sense when we know what we're doing. So G to play the game. Oh, wow. So you have to avoid the obstacles. We can shoot the crocodiles. There's the jetty. Pick up our little man. It's a score-based game like all these early games were. Oh, wow. This really does bring back so many memories. It really does. Again, my mum was such a gamer. She loved this game. She was really good. And I can remember not being anywhere near as good at this one. We're going for 4 people. And as you can see, I've got a lot better control. The cruiser is absolutely spot on. It's brilliant for this one. Let's drop these off just to show you that. And obviously you get more of a multiple score the more people you drop off. Whee! Oh, I can remember that bit. I could never do that bit. It was very hit and miss. Oh, and I crashed into the side. Yeah, it was always a very hit and miss moment, that, with the crocodile and that nasty bit of coast. Oh. Oh. Stepping up rapidly on the difficulty front. That was me bragging that I'm playing a lot better with a joystick. I think I've cursed myself, guys. Gary would come to my house on his bike. My mum would be playing this. We would then bike to Gary's house and his mum would also be playing this game. There was another game that they were very competitive in, which I will share with you guys in a future video. the competition was fierce on this game. Can remember my mum speaking to Gary's mum before school, at the school gates. About this game. Oh, and it gets really challenging now. Oh, that music. Oh, that sound effect. Absolutely brilliant. So, G, we're going to have another go, guys. Because we got the joystick, we're having another go. Let me know in comments, guys. I really want to know. Or even better still, YouTubers, do a video response. I would love to know some of the real nostalgic games that floods that brain of yours with loads of warm memories of some of these killer classics on the Specky. I love to know. I love all of your responses. Please, as always, leave me loads of lovely comments. I reply to all of you. Because this is what YouTube's all about with me. Getting this awesome retro community communicating, talking games, talking the nostalgia, the memories. It's just absolutely brilliant. Whoa, he's going for 5. We're going to drop him off. See if we can beat my previous high score. Oh yes. It's because I'm getting cocky, guys, with the controller. Oh, like I am there also. That sound when you die. Boo! Bloody brilliant. Yeah, like I've just said, guys, a video response would be really nice. But just leave me some nice comments. Let me know. I want to know those games that gives you goosebumps, that makes your arm hairs stand up. We've all got them. We've all got those games. Oh yes, he's killing it like Crocodile Dundee. Let's drop them off because I want to beat my other score. Oh, wow, I really remember some of these patterns. I've not seen these in over 20 odd years. How am I going to... Whoa! I can remember those. Yeah, you've got to shoot the mines they drop. Oh, wow. What a game. What a game. There's that pesky swarm of crocodiles. Is that the right term? Swarm? Or is it a herd of crocodiles? I don't know. A school of crocodiles? And that's fish. Oh, absolutely fantastic. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. There's more to come, guys. I've got so many games that just spark these emotions and loads of memories. Again, please give me that thumbs up, guys. Let me know you're digging these videos because it's all new to me. Let me know of any ideas to improve them. I want your feedback, guys. I really do. But until the next time, I'm Sega Zombie. Goodbye.